Greetings, I'm Sami Laakso from Snowdale Design and I welcome you to the stream for Peacemakers Forces of War Gamefound campaign launch. I welcome you all to the stream and this will be going through the campaign page just a little bit beforehand. And let's see if first of all if music and sound levels are okay. Seems like we are actually missing the music. That should be it, and we can lower it just a little bit. And if someone can tell that that's a good balance, we can move on. And this stream will be mostly about going through the campaign page, and if you have any questions during the stream, please don't hesitate to drop them in the comments, and I will try my best to answer each and all of those. We will have a separate Q&A stream later this week, and then we will answer even more of your questions. We have been collecting them from all different sources, and we're going to take a look at those in that second stream. Thank you for letting know that the sounds are fine. I turned the music just slightly down. Hope it's not too distracting anymore. Welcome to the stream, Evan, Alvar, Crash Man, Ville, Bones. Yes, that's all of you who have voiced yourself in the chat. So welcome to the stream. Here we have a look on the campaign page. It will be made. It will go live in right moment of speaking 26 minutes from now, so we can get a small peek beforehand. First of all, we have the campaign video, which I don't have. I did not set up my stuff so that we could take a look at the video, or well, I guess we can take a look at the video, but I don't have the sounds playing. They are not here. Can't hear the sounds here, but you can take a look at it yourself afterwards. It's not too long. Show some of the components of the game, some of the highlights, but we're going to take a look at all of those in a moment as well. I have the game set up here on the table. One says happy to be here, and Crash Man is loving the meeples. Yes, we will take a look at those in a moment as well. Not sure what to talk during the video. There's motivations going down. Just look at the insert with the meeples, a game board made of two map books, multi-use cards that you can choose what actions to take with them. Welcome to the stream, Collider. Happy to see the next Snowdale project. Look forward to playing it in the future. And now we have Sami here on the stream. I guess that's enough of the video. And Bones asking which factory will be printing the game. It's going to be Panda Manufacturing, which is the same as which we used for Lands of Galsor, and they're known for their quite great quality in components. Alvar says that your quality is so good, I'm always impressed. Well, thank you. Let's scroll down a little. We are just shy away from 4,000 followers for the campaign. Not sure if we can make that before the campaign launch. On my preview page where I'm looking at now, it shows the comments here, but on the actual campaign page, these comments will be on their separate tab, not here on the page. And well, here's here's the player for this exact stream. So if people come to the campaign page, they will be able to look at the stream right away. And we have contents on the page on the left. So we start with the project story, which is general outline or a summary of sorts of the game. Then we go through the different rewards, possible stretch goals, game contents, how to play. We have previews, first looks, and gameplay videos from third parties, live streams, which you're now taking part in the first one. We have history of Peacemakers. Don't be afraid, it's not going to be a boring history lesson. It's just that we have a older game that this is built upon, and we have some just previous projects for those who do not know our other games like Dale of Merchants and Lands of Galzur. We have a list of people making behind the game, of course shipping and all the other mandatory stuff. And yes, let's go. We have here the just short quotes from some of the reviewers who have gotten their hands on the game, and all of those are listed down here on gameplay videos and previews and first looks, just a teaser of what people are thinking about the game so far. Evan asking who was able to do the gameplay videos. Look forward to watching those. I suppose I can check them in a bit. Yes, so at least Sir Tekos has made a gameplay video. Mike Kelly from One Stop Co-op Shop has made a video. Anton from Anton VS has made, but he made those videos are in Finnish, and the preview he did add subtitles, so you can check the preview, but the gameplay video, which I'm actually part of, so we played two players, that one is only in Finnish, unfortunately, at least for now. There might be an option for automatic subtitles, I'm not exactly sure. And then also Chris from Leech of Games has made a preview gameplay as well. That's not quite a full gameplay, it has some sample turns, but there are multiple full playthroughs as well. On the streams we will going to do at least 2 full gameplay demos / streams on YouTube, and I hope to have some on Discord where people can interact even more directly, like even perhaps take control of an adventure, like actually play the game with me. Welcome to the stream, Peter. So close to launch. I'm very excited to look at this as it launches. And Evan is saying all people I follow, so I'll be sure to check them out. And then we have here an animation just showcasing what the game looks spread on the table. It's showing here 2 different scenarios, so the game will come with 6 scenarios, and this animation here is showing 2 of those. So this which is showing right now, well, this is the scenario number 2 with a lot of ocean visible, and this is the scenario 1 with the river in the middle. I can show both of those on the actual physical game here in a moment as well. It's for 1 to 4 players. It's a cooperative game. Takes roughly 1 to 2 hours depending on which scenario you're playing, how fast you go, etc, etc, and roughly for 14 players and up. And as the player count says, it supports solo play, and the solo rules for Peacemakers Horrors of War are the same as for other player counts, so you don't need to learn 2 different games if you want to play it solo. And there's no bots. Well, if you don't count the actual armies who are fighting against each other as bots, but there are no player bots so to speak. Here's what is Peacemakers Horror of War section. As we said already, it's a cooperative game up to 4 players, including solo. And the 3 different like main highlights we have listed for the game here are bring peace together. So that's the theme of the game is to play together to bring peace. That's what everything is built upon, is the theme of the game. And Peter is saying solo rules are very important to me. So glad that the rules are the same between solo and multiplayer games. Yes, that's something I like to design in my games. That if I want to support solo play, I want the rules to be pretty much the same and no exceptions and bots to go around and stuff. There's space definitely for games with different rules and bots and so forth, but that's just not how I design my games. I like to design them with streamlined rules where you get to play easily, but there's crunchy and interesting decisions while you play it. So there's just how I like to design them. Then we have the 6 different unique scenarios, and this is something, well, the game has 6 different ones, but they are all really different from each other, and you can replay them as many times as you want, and you don't need to play them in specific order, so you can play with different players each time as well. There's a real this is a little bit to the next point, easy get to the table. That's one of the really important things that we are now trying our hardest with all our games, is that if you have the game, if you want to play it, it's easy to actually get it on the table. So you can play with different players, setup is fast, teardown is fast, rules are easy to learn and easy to remember on subsequent plays, and so forth. Many aspects, so we're trying to get our games approachable without sacrificing the depth of gameplay while doing so. We have a short section of why back the game. Well, first is like you get to join our journey, and you can even influence the game by proofreading, giving feedback, as we have not fully developed all the different scenarios quite yet. We have good ideas of what they will be, but they are not fully playtested so far. And you can even take part in playtest sessions on Discord and so forth if you wish. We have a promo pack that will be free for all backers of the campaign. More on that later when we have more graphics and stuff about that. We have some discounts. We don't usually do large discounts in general. We don't do large discounts on our web store either. So that's not how we do stuff. But this we try to do a little small invented price lowers for those who do back our games on crowdfunding, as it does. Even if we hope that to be not risky endeavor for you, you still give us money way ahead of gaining the actual game, so we want to reward you for doing so. And you will be the first ones to get the game before possible retailers stock the game, unless they also like support the campaign and make pre-orders during it. But then they're like on the same line. But in general, you will guaranteed to get the game, and you get it before others. Evan says that easy setup and cleanup are one of the reasons I get Lands of Culture on the table often. Glad to hear the same will apply here. Yes, that's for that game. It was we had played various games in the same genre. For example, Seventh Continent, which is I really like the exploration aspect and many things about the game. But the setup and teardown can be quite the hassle, and we tried our hardest to make Lands of Culture have like the best aspects of adventure games without the rules overhead or lengthy setup and teardown. And we're trying our hardest here to do the same. Here we have the different reward levels. As you can see on the left, we have 4 different tiers, and this campaign does not have add-ons, so you just pick one of the reward levels and that's it. During the Pledge Manager, you will be able to add some add-ons in the form of our previous games, but as for Peacemakers, we have just the base game and a small promo, and if you get the game, you always get the promo. And the only add-on we have is sleeves. If you want high quality matte sleeves, they're like non-glare finish, and they're also really tight fit, so the cards do not move around inside. So if you want those, we have them for you have extra 10 euros, and you get the sleeves. And here's a little quick look of what in the game, but we'll have bigger illustration down, so we can look at those there. So you have basically 2 options for the new game, with sleeves or without sleeves. And with them it's 64.95 euros, and without it's 54.95. And both of those include value-added tax, and but do not shipping, so that's charged later in the Pledge Manager, and you can see the prices on the shipping section. And then we have 2 large bundles for those who do not have any of our games before, so you can just basically get everything we have made so far, except for Dawn of Peacemakers, as that's out of print, and we are this is not a remake of that, but it's going to take the same spot in our catalog, so to speak. So basically, if you want everything, you can have the gameplay bundle is this one, which you get all our previous games, all 4 Dale of Merchants products and Lance of Galser, and then we have this deluxe all in if you want all our games with all the accessories. But as I said before, we will have add-ons for single games like Dale of Merchants 1, 2, 3 collection, Lance of Galser in the Pledge Manager, so you can then pick and choose which we want. But we just wanted to keep the campaign clean and focused on Peacemakers, so we did not add them as add-ons during the campaign. We will do that in the Pledge Manager. Crash Bandman saying get everything. Information for retailers, and then we have the section for stretch goals and add-ons. And as for the previous section, still Crash Bandman says that's honestly 400 for everything you make is good deal, and that's with all the accessories, so you get all the gameplay stuff already with 220. And as for add-ons and stretch goals, we are not going to do either of those. Add-ons I already explained, and as for the stretch goals, we like to design our games so that if it gets funded, you get everything we have planned for the game, and we have not artificially or otherwise took out chunks of the game as stretch goals. We sometimes do them, like with Lance of Galser, but then it makes sense for us because it has a digital storybook, so we could actually add stuff to the storybook, like longer soundtrack and some additional stories and some bonus content like that. But with physical stuff, it's a lot harder to actually like budget things and decide the price of the game, and then different amount of cards have different sheets on the factory, and many manufacturing things that make it harder to have real stretch goals that you would be ready to publish the game without. So we're just saying no to all of that this time, and there's not going to be stretch goals, but the game is already stretched out with everything if we hit our funding goal. Bill is saying under 10 minutes. Yes, my clock says it's 9 minutes until the campaign launch. So here we have some of the highlights that could be like stretch goals in a different world. custom insert could be a stretch goal. Some of the custom wooden figures could be different sculpts, could be stretch goals, amount, double-sided screen printing and everything. 6 scenarios, we could say it has 4 and do some stretch goals, but we just put all of them already, and same for the card amount. And then we have just a short note that we do not do AI art in our games. No need to delve into that any more than that. Some photo of the actual game. And here we go to the game contents, what's in the game. And for this we can go through the list, and I can show the components physically on the table here. I also have Dawn of Peacemakers, kinda like the predecessor for the game, but for now we are going to set that aside. Maybe on the further section down the road we can go through it, but now we can concentrate on just a new game, Horrors of War. And when you open, there's a big just looking leaflet saying that you should not read the cards ahead of time, and you should organize them in the insert in a specific way. We have this, so you have easy time putting everything where they're supposed to be in the insert. Most of the time we try to make them as obvious as possible to see where everything goes, but with this it's even easier to sort everything in their correct places. And let's go in the order that it was on the page. So first we have the meeples, and I put the camera a bit far away to accommodate for the large map books, but we're not going to keep them open too much. So let's check the map books, and then I can get the camera a bit closer. So the game comes with 2 spiral-bound map books, and instead of a game board, you just put them next to each other, and you flip to the scenario you're playing. Like, for example, here's the first scenario we saw a glimpse before, and then we have also the second scenario on this prototype right here. So a lot of the setup is already done when you just flip over the map books like this. And I have just white empty pages from here. We didn't have more illustrated once we ordered the sample prototypes from the factory. But we can now we can get the camera a bit closer for the rest of the components. Yes. That's better. Crash Bandman says that they love the concept of two map books making a map, and Bill says show the frogs like somebody asked on Discord. We'll get to that. You can see them here, but now we'll try to go with the order we had set up here. So first we have the adventures. We can even make this a little bit fancier. So we're now going to game contents, adventurer figures. As you can see here, we have 4 wooden adventure figures with silk screen printing on both sides, and all adventures also have unique strengths, and we can take a look at that later as well. But So here we have the 4 adventures. They are in the middle of the insert, like on the best position. And Crash Bandman is asking, or first Evan is saying, yeah, first saw in the map books in Jaws of the Lion, and it's a great concept. Yes, there's also some other games like Stuffed Fables where you have one large book, but it was really nice. It's a really nice way to make it easier and faster to make a setup, and it makes it possible to have unique illustrations for all the different scenarios. Like in the our previous game, Dawn of Peacemakers, you had a game board and you build the map with tiles on top of the board, so it basically looks similar each time, but now we can have unique scenes like forests and larger bodies of water and mountains and whatever we want, different color palettes for each scenario. Crashman Man asks, can we get extra dice? The 12-sided die in Peacemakers would be nice replacement for the one in Gulls here. Here we have the 12-sided die. We don't plan to have extra like add-ons for this, but just shoot me a message on Discord or somewhere, and I have extras of these. I will just ship them to you. Will is asking to show how easy to take the adventure from the insert. Yes, one thing at a time. Coglistro, welcome to the stream. Easy to have many maps and boards and small space too. Yes. I think we can close up of the insert with the meeples, because we'll ask so you. The adventure meeples are here in the middle, and you can just push them on the bottom or top, and then they will pop up like that. As you can see, there's a raised part in the middle which they are resting on, and they stay like flush in the box like this, but you can just push them on top or bottom, and then you can get them easily out like that. Let's go back here. Setup is a little bit wonky with everything here far away, but we'll manage. Here's a look at one of the meeples. So all of them are double-sided. This is Nabo the marble polecat. Here's Fennec Fox Akesan, also double-sided, as all the meeples are double-sided. And here's Tambatu the Gold Dust Daygecko, and Jainar the Agami Heron, like a stork. And Ville says that we are live. Let's see if my counter works here. Sure, we'll see. It almost works. It's almost the correct place. Let's ready that. I tried my best to get it correct beforehand, but seems like it's a little bit different place. Close. I think that's good. All right, here we have a live counter. 14 backers. Let's go. Yes, those were the adventure figures, and well, not here. Here we go. The next part, we have 29 wooden army figures with silkscreen printing on both sides, and 12 soft plastic figure bases. So those are like really nice, unique component in the game, which we'll take a look now. So maybe. Oh yes, let's also change the label. Now we are looking army figures. Let's see. So I want to give you a close look as well. So we have the insert here, and the insert has labels here inside for the different card slots. So when you need, for example, scenario number 1 cards, it's really fast and easy to find and take them here. I have some sleeved, some not, as I'm filling it with prototype stuff to playtest and develop the game further. But all the cards will fit the insert sleeve. We are getting ahead of ourselves, but wanted to show this side. We have the different armies, and you can see that they match the different slots here, so it's easy to put everything. Even if you take everything out, you know, oh, I have the Tuatara, let's put him back here. And the same is true for this side as well. So you have the labels on the inside of the box, as well as the labels for the cards outside the box. So no matter which way you're holding the box, you can put everything easily back where they belong. So let's take a look. Yeah, I think the other camera is better for this. Here we have all the figures, all the army figures have this similar shaped square, or even more like a cube or rectangle piece at the bottom. As you can see, for example, here for the bears as well. And then we have these in the middle, these rubber bases. So these are made from soft rubber that I can deform by squeezing them if I want. But basically, this is now so far away, I need to show it here. You can take any of the pieces and just put it here, and it won't come off for the duration of the scenario. They will stay there firmly, but they're also really easy to take off, as this is soft plastic. You can put them on and off. And we have 3 different shapes for these meeple bases. They come during the gameplay, they have a relevance. We have the circle, then we have the cog shape, and we have a star shaped as well. And depending, we'll get to it during we have the how to play the game section, and we can take a closer look there. But let's see, we can look at the different meeples. We have the Ocelot Archer looking like that. We have an Ocelot Leader, another Archer, and then we have an Ocelot Warrior. Then we have the Scarlet Macaws. We have their basic unit, with spear and shield. Macaw Ranger, which is a flying unit. And Macaw Leader. We already took a quick look, but here's one. Perhaps my favorite meeple is the Tuatara Pirate. We have 2 different meeples for the spectacled bears. We have their charger, and then we have their leader with the sword and cape. As for the black ones, we have 3 different ones, if I can find all of them. So these are Toko Toucans. We have their leader in a shiny helmet. We have a Swooper, which is also a flying unit with reinforced beak. And then we have their basic unit, which is 2 kind of knight. We have green iguanas. They have 2 different sculpts as well. Their leader and their followers and devotees with their daggers. And this is the one someone was waiting for, the frogs with their blowpipes. They do not have a leader, but they're the most numerous one. We have 6 of the strawberry poison frogs. And let's see. Here we have pictures of all of those armies, like also figures, skull macavs, the Tuatara ones, spectacled bears, Tukutukans again, green iguanas, and strawberry poison frogs. So those are the army units. Then we can take a quick detour to publish some updates. Some of because the campaign is live, some of the sites allow for scheduling stuff, email newsletters and things of that nature, but some platforms I need to manually publish them at the time of release, time of launch. So I'll do that like so. And done. Next we go to the 2 spiral bound map books. And now my browser has exploded. Let's see if it fixes itself by refreshing. Might be because the project launched and doesn't want to load in anymore or something of that nature. Seems like it's working fine now. So here let's change the title. Now we're looking at map books, even though we took a look at those already. But basically they're the support. They make it possible to, one of the main things that makes it possible to have really fast setup and teardown is the 2 spiral bound map books. And we already took a look at those, so they are like this. You can go back to the in the video to take a look at those if you want. Next up we have cards. Let's change our title card for that. Here we have game will come with 300 cards plus the small promo. So of those cards we have there will be over 200 order cards, which are they're mostly here at the top for the different scenarios. For example, here we have for the first scenario we have Macav order cards, left half, right half. We have some for left and right half for the ocelots. Those are for the first scenario, and each scenario has unique order decks for all the armies in said scenario. And yes, I'm not sure what else to tell about the order cards. You will learn about them when you a little bit more when we go to the how to play section. But that's also something that makes it possible to have real fast setup, because all the scenarios have their own cards. Even if it's the same army, they will act differently and they will have their own deck. So you just take the scenario specific cards, shuffle them, and you're good to go. And then we have over 40 resource cards, which are you will use those as a player to manipulate the war and play for different actions. We have over 30 horror cards, which are used in various situations when there's bad stuff happens in the game. Most often, if a unit gets defeated, you will have to put a new horror card on top of your resource deck. And let's see, I had to change some tabs so I didn't see the chat. Let's see what I missed. Crashman has, well, first Ville said that we are live, which it was a good prompt for me to post some of the updates. And Crashman says that time to spend my money, only responsibly please. Peter, welcome to the stream. Backer number 19. Evan was number 15. I thought he could make it at least top 10, but not quite. Ville, our community manager, etc., sales manager, says that the rubber bottom bases are great. When he tried those swoop for the Toucan Swooper, Ville said that if he remembers correctly, it took 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Sir Tekos to make the setup. And welcome to stream, Sir Tekos, and he corrects Will that it was actually only 2 minutes 23 seconds. Alright, let's move on to the next. So we had a brief look at the horror cards, and if you back during this Gamefound campaign, you will get the horror pack for free. It has 10 extra horrors that you can simply shuffle into the horror deck of the base game to add more variety. Whenever you draw a new horror, you have even less idea what horrific events will unfold. And that's not exclusive, you will be able to get it later as well, but then you will have to pay a little extra for it. So that's our little way also to say thank you for those who back our campaigns early. So it will be available later, but it's you don't get it for free at that point. And here's a reminder that you can get the sleeves for 10 extra if you want. Will asks what's the difference between normal horrors and these extra horrors. So the normal horrors, let's see if I can get some here. The normal horrors have, you can see that there's now nothing on the left top edge of this card, but for example in the resource card we have these icons for so called normal horrors that come with the game. For those, they have these 4 icons at the top left, and the horror will take effect for the player. It will target the player whose icon is at the top. If you have just 2 players, you check who's higher on the tier list, so to speak. So all the horrors in the base game are like this, where you have to, it will happen to 1 player depending on the priority list on the horror card itself. And we have exactly 24 of those cards for the base horror deck. It says 30 plus here because the game does have scenario specific horrors that you also need use in specific scenarios, but the so-called base horror deck will have 24 horrors, so it's a perfect even distribution of the different all the different combinations that they can be with 4 players. So it's always equally likely that it will hit any player when you draw a new horror. And this new there's 10 extra horrors in the promo pack. You can see they do not have the list on the top left as this one has, because they are global effects. They do not target any specific adventure, but they will target pretty much everyone, and you will see what they will do once you play the game. But it's also was a nice way for us to actually include that kind of horrors in the game as in the promo deck, because the game has exactly 300 cards and we did not have budget in the card count to have extra horrors. And if we would like to have more cards, it would bump the card count to 360, as the cards come with bundles of 60 per card sheet at the factory. And if we put more, then there's trouble. Well, first the game's price goes up for everyone, and then there's trouble of actually fitting the cards sleeved in there if we put 60 extra ones. And so we settled at 300 cards, and it did not leave us room for horrors without the priority list, but now we can actually make those with the mini expansion promo pack. Everyone needs to go and wishes the best for the campaign. Thank you. Will says over 100 packers. Yes, you can see the live count, which I here. So 109 backers at the moment. We had a playful discussion with the team yesterday on when we think that the campaign will fund, if at all, and we'll see who hits the closest with their estimate. And then we go to other stuff. I don't think we need to label these ones anymore. Basically, we have wooden damage tokens, wooden fortification tokens, glass bead, and a custom die, which we already also took a quick look. And all those are here are the damage tokens. They're just wooden cylinders. They are easy to stack and put next to a wounded unit. Fortification tokens are just wooden cubes, again for being able to easily put them on top of each other and stack them on the game board. We have glass beads that you put on the map books to show the motivations of different armies. And we have the custom 12-sided die, which has numbers from 1 to 12, but it also has icons for the different insignias here, the circle, the star, and the gear on different sides for various effects when you are asked to roll the die. What's next? We have some documents. For those, we have the welcoming letter, which we already also showed quickly. So it has just a picture of the insert. When you open the game for the first time, not everything is like on the correct spots for manufacturing reasons, but you can use this to easily put everything where they belong, as it's labeled. Like here you put this and whatever, so makes that one easy. Then we have rulebook, which is probably my favorite rulebook so far we have made for our games. On the front we have a table of contents, so you can easily skip where if you want to have a rules question, you can find if you are asking for example travel, you can see which page the rule for that can be found. And on the back we have iconography, so all the different icons for the game and what they do for adventures as well. The game has just 2 keywords. You can learn them both here if you forget, and also a nice round overview, and also pages where you can go and look for more if you have questions about those things. Inside we can take a quick look. Let's put it here, and why not, if we spend a little bit time on this, we can add a header here. So on the left we have first we have all the components, so you can recognize what's what. Game overview, some credits who's behind the game. So basically this is no rules whatsoever on this first spread. Then we have immediately game setup. It's as proved by Surthekos finishing the setup in 2 minutes 23 seconds. It's fast and easy. And here we have the adventure phase. The game is divided basically in 2 halves where you take actions as adventures in adventure phase, and then you take actions after adventure phase. It's the army's turn, and it's the army phase where the armies will act, and that's the rules. Basically 2 spreads, one for you and your actions, and one for the armies and the army's actions. And the remaining of the stuff is, this is lore for what happens, background story. And then we have the different scenarios here. Scenario 1, and we always have the story and some dialogue on the left, and then we have scenario specific stuff on the right. So that's scenario 1, scenario 2, and the rest are not here yet. And let's see. YouTube is complaining that there's some dropped frames. Hopefully that will settle itself. I think it's more stable already. I hope. If someone can confirm that the stream is still working. Okay, now it's good. Yes, dropped few frames, but should be stable now. And then yes, we have the different scenarios in the rulebook, and we have some really happy. These illustrations are made by Jesus Delgado. So I'm illustrating the game with Jesus, and for each scenario we have a unique illustration also on the rulebook showing a little bit of what's going on, and there's I'm really happy how they look and how they turned out. We have just the two here, but this is the second one with the 2 other pirates. Ville says, look how thin the book is. Yes, and this, well, it includes also the scenarios. So basically just 2 spreads of rules and a spread for setup. So that should be enough for the rulebook. We have a mention of a picture of the insert. We took a look of that already, and as said before, it does fit all the cards sleeved if you want to do that, no problem. Short mention that all the wood, paper and cardboard in the game is made from FSC certified recycled materials or from responsibly grown forests. And then we have a quick how to play section. Ville is asking about challenges. A bit early for that maybe, but yes, every scenario has... Oh, there's one component, yes. We skipped in the components. We have the scenario log here, and that one is a simple sheet of paper. You can also print more of these from online or PDF, but basically with this you can keep track which scenarios you have played and which challenges you have completed. Each scenario has, well, first you can achieve peace by not just winning the game basically, but then all scenarios have this no casualties goal, in which you try to, well, win without any casualties, and then we no units can die. And then we have 2 scenario specific challenges, like the first one has cautious invasion and bad memories, and the second one has triple barrel cannon and fog of war. And all of those are unique so we have 12 unique challenges that you can try out if the game feels too easy too easy for you. and then we have a short section on how to play the game. So this is not going to be a tutorial stream or anything like that. So it's going to be going just through this briefly over the how to play section. Setup is basically just choosing a scenario, opening the map books and placing figures on them, shuffle the order decks, the resource deck, order deck, place your some of the glass beads and tokens on the game board and or on the table, and you're good to go. As said previously, it takes less than 5 minutes easily, even for first times as well. But if you practice, maybe you can go even below 2 minutes or something if you want to make a competition out of that. And there's 2 phases in the game, or actually 3, but 2 where most of the stuff action happens. We have the adventure phase where you take actions, and all the cards have these icon rows. Some have all of them, some do not have just a few of them, and they are different. There's 5 different actions you can take in the game, 4 of which are these icons, and the 5th one is the text here at the bottom. And the cards are multi-use, so you can use one card for one thing. So if you want to use, for example, this strategic retreat for the survey action here at the top, you do the survey and then you get discard the card. You do not get to do the other actions. So even when you have just a few cards in your hand, depending on how you're being able to save up for them, you have a lot of different options on what to do with said cards. Sir Teko says you can try to beat my setup time record. I was thinking that we will have a stream where we compare Dawn of Peacemakers and Peacemakers Horrors of War, and in that one I'm tempted to do a speedrun setup of Dawn of Peacemakers and a setup of Peacemakers Horrors of War. So we'll see how, and I will put the timer on screen for both of those, so we'll see how fast I'll manage to do them. And yes, one of the important thing in the adventure phase, which is not unique to this game but not seen often, is that there's no turn structure like specific turn order, but all the players can take actions in any order they wish. So I can take the first action, my friend can take the second, they can take the third one, then I can take again, or whatever we want, as long as we have cards, as each action takes a card to do. The second option, well, the first option is the survey, where you can look at some of these order decks here at the bottom from the armies to see what they're going to do this round or even the following one. With the boots, you can travel through the battlefield to a different position to better do, because many of the actions require you to be next to a specific unit. For example, if you want to heal a unit, you will have to obviously be next to that unit. You can't heal a unit from other side of the game board. You can fortify, you can build the cubes I showed you earlier to protect units on the game board. And this one here with the finger, it's delegate. You can give a card to a player that is on the same space as you are. And one of the main reasons you might want to do that is because all the different schemes are more powerful if they're played with the correct adventure. Like this strategic retreat here, you may move one nearby unit 1 space backwards if you're any adventure. But if you are Akesan, the Fennec Fox, then you may move actually 2 units backwards 1 space. So all the different cards are more potent if you are a specific adventure. So you need to collaborate on getting the most out of your limited resources. Welcome to the stream, Gossi, saying that at 30 days length this is a reasonably long campaign with a lack of stretch goals. I'm curious to hear your plans, ideas regarding how you plan to maintain hype interest on the project during the tenure. Well, we have regular streams every 4 days. We are going to soon, once we get down enough in the campaign page, we will get to the live stream section, and we will have a new live stream every 4 days, and we have plans for campaign updates where we don't reveal new components or stuff, but we will explain more about everything every second day. And there will obviously be a more silent or calm time during the middle of the campaign, and that's to be expected. But we wanted to make a 30-day campaign to have more people chance to find the campaign, so they don't miss out on it. But we do a little bit differently. Like we don't have a hype machine for the campaign with stretch goals and stuff. It's more straightforward. Like we have a game. Do you want it? Here's everything. You will get it. There's no mystery involved. Just get it if you want, and if it's not for you, then you can go with your life basically. But yeah, it's not going to be all fireworks and stuff during the campaign, but more like a slow burn and community effort, like having fun on the Discord and playtesting with people and developing new scenarios and seeing how people react to those and polish the game even during the campaign. And Ville says that also emailing and social media and some local events here in Finland. Yes, we have an upcoming event in Finland where we are going to take part and show off the game as well. And hooray, we have over 150 backers. Now we would have to be able to have a contest on you guessing how many people there will be, how many backers once the stream is over, but that's kind of unfair because I can choose when I end the stream. Yes, it's called Trakon in Tampere, and if there's any Finnish watchers or even someone else who's in the neighborhood, if you're coming to Trakon, come and say hi to us. And after everyone has chosen to stop playing any resource cards, you draw extra ones. You always draw a total of 4 new cards from the resource deck, and you divide them evenly between players. So no matter the player count, you always draw 4 cards, and you just split them for all the players as evenly as you can. And then we go to the army phase, where we reveal the top card of each of the order decks. These ones here at the bottom. We'll reveal the top ones from each deck, and the armies will basically act on those order cards. We see the priority numbers here at the top, and the faster, like this is combined, is 7.3 and this is 6.5. So this, in this case, the Swift Strike would go first, and after that the Ocelots would do a ritual cover. So they will attack, they will move, they will defend, they will have all kinds of tactics and ploys for their armies. And many of them will, first of all, the right one will tell what they're trying to do, if they're wanting to move or attack or defend. And the left one is going to have some sort of trickery going on, which usually many times has something to do with their motivation. And their motivations are kept tracked on the game board here on the glass beads here, and that's the way to win the game, is to get both motivations to green at the same time, which means that you will have them negotiate peace. And many of the cards on the left side will help you lower their motivation by ruining their plans in some way or another. What else? Yeah, Ville says, yes, the Dragon is at Tampere from 8th of September to 10th of September, so next month. And Gozi, Osmodu, welcome to the stream. Great to see the project has launched. The game seems just perfect. I was a day 1 backer for Galser, but cannot back the game this time. Best of luck for the project. It's totally fine, and great to hear that the game looks nice, and you can get it later after the campaign. We will open the pledge managers. You can join us then if you want, or after that we have pre-orders on our online store, and even after that, when we have the game in stock, you can order it from us or from a retailer if they stock the game. Goss is saying backing the project is a no-brainer. The only really difficult decision was selecting only 4 of the daily playmats. Yes, 4 is enough for the maximum player count for Dale of Merchants, and you will be able to add more in the pledge manager if you if you wish to do so. But 4 is enough to have 1 for each for every player with the maximum of 4 player count. And Will is asking which match did they choose to pick, and 4 of the Aussie ones, of course. There's at least Tasmanian Devils, there's Platypuses, we have the grizzled tree kangaroos. Those are at least from Australia. From top of my head, I can't remember the number 4 right now. Pangolins, I think so. And then there's a notion of horrors of war, which we slightly touched before, and those are the bad cards that will be added to your resource deck to hinder your progress if a unit from an army gets defeated. So the adventurers do not like to see bloodshed on the battlefield, and if they do see it will hinder your progress by getting you horror cards. And here's again the victory and lose conditions, is that you try to get both motivations to green at the same time, but if one of them lowers all the way to black, so here to 0, that side will surrender, the other side will win, which means that you lose the scenario, because you do not want one of the sides to win, you want them to negotiate peace, and only way to do that is to get them both on close to surrendering, so on the green zone at the same time. And then there's a mention of replay value. So the game does have 6 scenarios, and they have built in replay value by the form of all the decks being shuffled. So the order decks are shuffled, so the armies will act differently each time you play, and the resource deck and the horror deck are also shuffled, so you will have different resources at different times. Even if the same resources, you get the same ones in different times, which means that you have different tools for a different situation. So there's a lot of variety built in, even like that. But then, as mentioned before, there's also the challenges that you can try to conquer, and hopefully at some point you can cross all the different boxes in the campaign log to prove yourselves to be the perfect peacemaker or something like that. But I guarantee that won't be an easy task to do. The playmats Gossip chose were Magpie, Platypus, Tasmanian Devil, and Echidna. 3 kangaroos sadly had to be left behind. Someone else can adopt him. Alright. And here we have also a link where you can download the actual rulebook with final rules. Yeah, unless we make some slight changes, but we don't foresee big ones. And let's wait for it to load here. And it's the one you already saw, but you can take a closer look if you want to read the actual rules and even give feedback on, well, anywhere you want. On Discord is like the most convenient place where I can reply as soon as I see your message, but you can also drop a comment right here on the document on Dropbox, or for example on Gamefound comments, or wherever you want. It doesn't have the scenarios 3, 4, 5 and 6, as those are still in development, but you can find the 2 first scenarios and all the basic rules for the game already here. And here we get to the previews and first looks section, where we have quotes from the creators, including always so handsome Sir Tekos, and some players, his preview. We have some extra ones here. You can find Anton's preview as well. It has English subtitles. You might have to enable them from the YouTube player, but they are there. Chris from Leech of Games. We have written previews from Dan from Space Beef, or aka Space Beef, and Piotr from Games Fanatic has made both two lovely written pieces. We have more coming, with the preview copies moving from content creator to another, and I will add them to the list here and post links to Discord and stuff as they get published. And Alvar saying, "Don't worry, I'm proud owner of 3 kangaroo playmat. They are well taken care of." And Goss is saying, "OMG, that Nordic accent, I love it. If I wasn't so adverse to the cold, I would love to visit Europe someday." Yeah, I can't help with my accent too much. I've been improving my English with time, but an accent is something that's pretty hard to get rid of entirely, especially if you don't go to a different place and like immerse yourself in the different language. But just like talking online and by yourself on stream, it's kind of hard to get rid of an accent. But if you love it, then it's great. Welcome to the stream, Dano Super. Congratulations us on the launch. Thank you very much. And we have separate section here for playthrough videos. One from Mike from One Stop Co-op Shop. It's a combined gameplay and preview. So first there's a gameplay, and then the end Mike will give his thoughts about the game. Similar we have for Sir Tekos. If I believe the preview part on this longer video is the same one, that's just separately over here, so you can skip to the preview while watching here, or watch the whole gameplay over here. And here we have live streams, including this one. Well, I didn't list the launch stream as it's already going on when the campaign is live right now, but here we have the planned schedule, unless we have changed it for some reason. But we have, well, first of all, we have question and answers, and that's 26th, and if I remember, I will check. So that's this, yes, this week's Saturday, we are going to have a Q&A session. We have already prepared a lot of questions, and whenever someone asks a question, basically anywhere, we'll just copy it to our list of questions that we are going to go through in that session, and we try to answer all the questions anyway, but this will be a condensed place where there's a bunch of questions answered. We are going to have 2 gameplay demos, one at the beginning of the campaign and one at the end of the campaign. And as said previously, in addition to those, we try to host some demos and gameplay on Discord as well, where you can actually take part in the game and play it with us. We have a tabletop simulator as well, mod for that, but it's a little bit wonky at times. It's not made public just yet, but if you ask, you will be able to get access to that on Discord as well. I'm going to do 2 streams where I'm going to draw some art for the game. Currently I'm planning on probably drawing some new horror cards. We do not have a lot of art for the horror cards just yet. And then we're going to have a design diary stream and a history of Peacemakers. In design diary we are going to concentrate on what the game is and why, the different decisions that led to the game being the way it is. And with the history of Peacemakers, we are going to take a closer look and compare Dawn of Peacemakers to this new version. And the final one, we will have campaign end stream similar to this one once the campaign is going to end. And I'm not exactly sure yet what I'm going to do in that stream, but taking a look at the campaign and maybe some of the updates and things of that nature. If you have great ideas, drop them down in the comments or on Discord or something, and I can try to figure out what to do with that stream. And here's some of the main differences between the original Dawn of Peacemakers and this new version Peacemakers Horrors of War. So they are not the same game, it's not a remake of the original, it's kinda like a sequel, but we have reworked a lot of rules. It's been 5 years since the release of that one, even more from the development of that game. And we have learned a lot since then. We have got a lot of feedback about the original game, which we have had collected feedback from all over the place, from Board Game Geek, from people actually telling us, from emails from everywhere. We also made a form where we actually asked people what they thought about the game and what they would like to see improved and stuff like that. And we have taken all of that feedback into account while designing this new version. And here are some of the things that we have changed, the biggest things. We have even stronger emphasis on theme, meaning that when people hear about game named Peacemakers, they assume it, rightfully so, to be a really peaceful game, in a sense that you do not want to see units get defeated. And that's something in the original, that one of the main ways to drop the motivation of the armies was to get units defeated, which lowers their motivation and gets you closer to victory. But we changed it here that you do get closer to victory by doing that, but you draw the horror cards. So it's double-edged sword, and it's not, the motivations are higher than the original, so you cannot win by just getting units defeated. You have to ruin their plans, which is the main thing on how to get to victory. Then we have characters with unique strengths, so many people wished for their adventures to be different from each other, and this time they are, as explained before. Each resource card is more potent when you play it with a specific adventure. So when you go to a new scenario, you have to think about which adventure you want to take in that one to get most out of the bonuses from that adventure. As you play more, you learn more about the different strengths of each of them. Also, hooray for 200 backers. The next one is faster setup. So in the original, let's see if I can actually do this, and I can pause it on the original here. So in the original one, you have this game board that has these tiles on top. You can see here, or everything that has, like, the river is made from tiles, the forests are tiles, the mountains and everything. So you had to build the scenario based on the rulebook. Then you had to also build these order decks, because you had a large pool of cards and you had to follow instructions on how to build the decks for each scenario. So that takes time to do as well. Those are perhaps the two main ways the game is way faster set up, that you do not have to build the decks, you do not have to build the terrain. And the insert is also better, so it's even faster to find the correct components compared to this new one where you flip open the map books. That's done. You take the whole pile of cards from the insert, you separate them by card pack, you shuffle them, you're done. So those cut down the setup time a lot. We have streamlined rules. We have gone through the rules of the original game and seen, looked through everything that can we remove this rule without actually affecting gameplay too much, or can we rework it a little bit to make it more easier to remember. One of the biggest thing, well, there's no turn order anymore, but there were little bonus actions that you could do in specific cases that you could easily forget in the original, but now all the actions are done by spending a card. So everything you can do is on your cards. You don't need to remember any extra things. Oh, you can do this if you do this, or anything like that. So we have made many small changes to make the rules easier to learn. Easier to learn and easier to remember without sacrificing gameplay depth, so you still have as much or even more interesting and meaningful decisions to do during gameplay. The original had a 12 scenario campaign, which you had to play in a specific order from beginning to an end, and preferably with the same group of players. So you had no flexibility on which scenario you wanted to play or who you could play with. And that combined with the slow setup made the game kinda tedious to get and hard to get on the table. So that's something we try to really consciously concentrate on our new designs, is to make them easier to get on the table in multiple ways. Welcome to stream, Goran. First time for me to back a game on Gamefound after getting Lands of Galsur and Dale of Merchants. This was a no-brainer. Congratulations on the launch. Thank you for your kind message and welcome aboard. And then we have the addition of horror cards. So the original game did not have those at all, and there was basically no downside of letting a unit die on the battlefield, as it just got you closer to victory by lowering the motivation of that side. But with the horror cards this time around, you really need to think twice if you are willing to let units get defeated. And we also encourage you to try all scenarios without any casualties, and then you get to cross over the achievement or challenge on the campaign log. And what's next? We have the world of animalfolk. We have a short introduction to Dymuria, which is the world of we built all our games into. And here we have a simple timeline where we can see that the original Peacemakers took place a few years before Horrors of War, and then there's a big gap between roughly 700 years between Horrors of War and Lands of Galsur, and about 10 years to Dale of Merchants, so you can play different eras in the game world in different games. So they are mechanically entirely separate from each other. So Dale of Merchants has nothing to do with Lands of Galsur mechanically, but they take place in the same game world, and you might be able to see similar animal folks, sometimes even the same individuals if you're playing games that took place close to each other. But even those that take place farther away from each other in time, there's also some crumbles that might be between the games. Like in Lands of Galsur there's a museum, and at times they might showcase an exhibition of past war leaders that you can actually see live in Peacemakers. And then let's see. Dano Super saying that the fact you're using wood meeples instead of plastic miniatures in this version is a huge improvement. Yes, I agree with that, and we thought about that a lot. We originally wanted to use like the same molds as the original game, but then we wanted more factions and everything, and it became like not feasible, or we would have to put more miniatures and stuff. And when we look back at the miniatures, or not the miniatures, the meeples in Lands of Galsur, we were so happy with the outcome of those. Like, they're so much more full of personality than just miniatures, as we can have different colors and shapes in these, and this is more iconic, more easily recognizable from far away compared to a plastic miniature with just one color. So we're really happy with this, and it was a real challenge to come up with these bases in a way that they work, because no game before us has made a component like this. So this was a big question mark, like, can we get this to work? I saw the soft plastic hats in Viticulture World, where you put the hat on top of the meeple, and that inspired me, like, okay, can we do something else with this material? Can we make actually these bases? And they turned out exactly, or even like better than I hoped, and it was a huge relief when I received these samples from the factory, and okay, yeah, we can actually make this work. And you can see that this has little teeth inside. They are to account for different size of meeples. Like, all of these, they try to make them the same size, but wood is a little bit tricky material to get exactly like the same every time. So there's slight variation of this. It's like millimeter or less, but enough that we had to design the component around that different sized meeples, even if they look the same on your eye, they can still fit in, and it will grip them, and it won't come off, and it can't be too hard to even also come off. So there's a lot of things to balance, but they came up excellent, and I just love them. They're so nice and work so well. It was a little bit risky to go for this, but we are happy that it worked out in the end. And Gossi agrees that the meeples are amazing, and Alvar says that I'm so tired of over-designed and expensive plastic miniatures. Love the cute wooden meeples you have settled on. As a sucker for world building, I hope you keep expanding the setting. The themes of friendship and peace are incredibly refreshing. We will definitely continue doing that, as it's something with my designs, I try to make new and fresh games that are, well, different from the stuff already available, if possible, both thematically and mechanically. Or if we do a game in a genre that is like a known one, like deck building, we try to put our own twist, like what would it look like to make a new kind of deck building game that has new twist on it. And for the teams like Lands of Galsur, how to point here, is an adventure game, but it's not about just going to a dungeon and killing mobs and gaining loot, but it's like a bit wholesome adventure where you can go wherever you want and help folk in need, no matter what kind of need they are. It does have fighting and stuff too, so it's not all cutesy stuff, but it's huge range of like things you can meet in there, and same for Peacemakers. Like, it's fun to explain to people, like, it's a war game, there are factions fighting each other, but you're not controlling those factions, you want them to make peace, and it's like blows their mind when you tell that it's not what they expect it to be. Here are some of the awards our games have gotten during the during the years, and including Soteko's new Ace of Games. Shout out to him as long as he's in the chat. Here are 3 of the things we like to try to incorporate our games, no matter what kind of game we are making. We try to make them thematic, so the rules makes, even if it's not a storytelling game, like Peacemakers is not a narrative driven game. It's a game where the actions that happen unfold on the game board themselves makes stories, and that's made possible when the rules are thematic and the effects are thematic, and stuff you make in the game just makes sense. So then it's natural to start thinking, oh, this war leader is sad because their troops are dying, and you are getting horrors and anxiety from seeing the bloodshed, etc, etc. So it just makes sense what happens in the game. And we try to make bold games in a way that we try to go to new grounds, try not to release something that's already out there, and polished games. We take our time with our releases and playtest and develop them as long as we think the game needs to be able to really shine. And then we have our team for Peacemakers Horrors of War. I'm doing game design and game development with Ville. Not the Ville in the chat, this is a different Ville. We have a lot of Villes in Finland in our age range. And he's doing story writing and world building with Jordan. And I'm doing illustrations with Jesus. And I'm doing also graphic design for the game. And we have a shipping section. We have customs friendly shipping to USA, Canada, EU and Australia. We do ship worldwide, so no matter where you are, you can back the campaign, but if you are outside of these 4 regions or countries, then there might be duties or extra fees from your border control, basically, when you receive the game. Gossi is saying that there is a sleeve pack for Delmers 1, 2 and 3 and a separate pack for the collection set about extra sleeves for beavers. Yeah, yes, all of those packs have extra sleeves, so if one of breaks or anything like that. And when you get the bundle with 1, 2, 3 and collection, you will have enough of those pairs to sleeve the beavers as well, and you still have extras left. I can make a note in the pledge tier somewhere that you will have sleeves for everything. If you get this bundle, you will have sleeves for every card that comes in any of the games you order here, basically. And the shipping table, you can see what it costs depending on what you want and where you live, basically. Pretty straightforward, and this will be charged later in the pledge manager. And we have some refund, cancellation stuff, mandatory things, and we are also part of the Gamefound stable pledge program. So if any of the price estimates, basically for shipping and stuff, ends up being bigger, over 10% bigger than what we estimated, you are able to get 100% refund during 14 days of that announcement if you wish to do so. And we should have also stretch pay enabled, but I was not able to look at it beforehand. Yes, we have stretch pay now. Now I can see it. It's only visible once the campaign is live. So we have stretch pay enabled. It should not be enabled for these 2 first ones. Okay, it's not what it's kind of confusing because it's only if you have 100 euros or more then you can use. So this is actually not a thing here or here because they're not 100 euros, but for both of these you can get them with stretch pay, which means that you can pay them by month if you wish to do so. And that's pretty much all the full page, and we are now at 234 backers. Anyone has any final questions before we wrap this I'm lost of words before we wrap the launch stream up. Did not get quite 250 backers, but we did get 1500 euros out of 50, so we are at 30% this side. We are 30% funded, which is nice. Hopefully we get funded as fast as possible to get one stressing thing away. But thank you for everyone for joining the stream, the launch stream for the Gamefound campaign for Peacemakers Horrors of War. I hope you had a good time, and if you have any questions, you can leave them here on YouTube, you can leave them on Gamefound, on Discord, wherever you feel want to put them, and try to answer them as soon as one of us gets the chance. Goz is saying, congratulations, I'm certain backing will grow as word spreads. Proud to be your backers, thank you. And if there's a friend of anyone who you think would enjoy a game like this, you can leave a link, drop a link to them for the campaign, and then they can see if it's something that would be interesting to them. And the next stream will be this Saturday for the Q&A session, and specific time is yet to be decided, but if you subscribe on the YouTube or just follow us anywhere, you will get notified once we schedule it and we know the exact time. It's better when you check it on YouTube, because then you see the local time. If I tell the where everyone is on different time zones, so it's hard to even say a single time. But when YouTube you go, you will see it on your local time, so it's easier. Alvar saying, incredible work as always. Thank you very much. So thank you for joining, and see you next time. Bye.